Thank you, Vincent. And first of all, let me say to the residents of Surama here that I am also very, very happy to be here this afternoon. The chairman of this afternoon's proceedings said that I have put aside my very busy schedule to be here with you this afternoon. But let me say to you that my schedule is you. There's no other schedule I have. Yes. You are my schedule because you came out and you voted like a boss, and world boss, you voted like the world boss, and so you have placed us in a position where we can impact the development of your community. So I am very happy to be here, and that is why I want to say you are my business. And so I want to say a few words about my business and your business. As the leader of the opposition, we, that is to say all of the members of parliament who are in the National Assembly, we were put there to serve you. And I've said to each and every one of them that you are servants of the people. You are not their masters. They are your masters, and therefore it is your responsibility to serve them. It is your responsibility to represent them. And so I want to talk a little bit about representation and what that means. This afternoon, sitting here, listening to your regional councillors, I felt extremely proud that we have been able to identify strong, positive women, strong, positive men to represent you, the people, at the RDC level, and you, the people, at the national level. I'm very proud. And I say this because I was the election agent for the APNU AFC. And so all of the parties here this afternoon, on behalf of them, the APNU, the AFC, the parties that make up the APNU, all of them, on behalf of all of them, I say to you this afternoon, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support and your vote. Thank you. Many people will come here. I called them this morning when I spoke to 𝐿𝐾𝐏, false prophets. They come and give you all sorts of what we call Nancy story. Things that are not true. When in fact you can see development all around you. When you can see that the 5 years that the APNU AFC was in office have been 5 years of hard work and rapid progress in every single part of Guyana. In this region, I remember I was at Lethem when we declared open that road and the roundabout. And I spoke there and spoke at the tremendous amount of resources that we have spent in Region 9. Tremendous amount of resources. Hundreds of millions of dollars spent on matters which have to do with the development of the people. Matters which concern you as citizens. But we have now a regime that are not about matters which concern you, but about matters which concern a small clique that's there that call themselves the administration. And so we will continue to fight until the day that we are back in office. That is my commitment to you as the leader of the opposition. Because I don't like this term, leader of the opposition. I don't like it. And I've told all of my MPs that the people on the other side in the parliament are sitting in your seats. And every single day that you wake up, you must find some way of making them understand that they cannot be comfortable because they are sitting in your seats. And you want it. They are squatting in your seats. So I am happy for this turnout. I am happy for the opportunity to speak to you here this afternoon. But I want to talk about two other things. They are developmental in nature. This morning when I came in and throughout the day, I'm here and I cannot send a message on my phone to any other part of this country. I feel as if I am locked into a place where there is no communication. But what I want to say to you is that when we were in government, we were setting up internet hubs all across this country, and this was one of the communities that had that. But let me say further that only recently the Telecommunications Act was passed, and it now has become operational. Now, what that act provides for is a section which speaks about unserved areas. Unserved areas. This is an unserved area. And so the act provides for all of the companies that are registered under the Telecommunications Act to make or set aside a certain sum of money every year that goes to the telecommunication agency for them to provide service for communities like this. And so what we will do, we will continue to pressurize the administration to ensure that the unserved areas are given the resources that they require. An unserved area is an area which the major companies don't consider to be economically viable for them to place the resources there. I am aware that for a long time now, there were some discussions with the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs under Vice President Ali Koch and the community for them to set up a tower on one of these mountains so that you can get telecommunication, you can get communications here. That has not materialized, but now I can say to you that there is the act which provides for resources for you to get it. And we are going to pressurize the system to make sure it happens. And I want you, the residents of this community and all of the other communities that are so affected, to also put pressure. Anytime a representative of the regime comes into your community, ask him about or her about it. Ask him or her about it. Tell them, ask them, when are we going to get proper telecommunication services in our community? You tell them that. And keep pressurizing them, because this is what the law is and you are entitled to it. That's the first thing. The second thing is also developmental, and Vincent spoke earlier about Irfan Ali coming in here and standing on the road and let him, and still telling people they don't see no development. Well, a blind man can't see. If you bring Ray Charles in and ask him, well, what are you seeing? What answer do you expect? What do you expect? There are people who are blindly following, and so they will always say that. But this afternoon, I want to thank also the McDC company that completed that road, and the manager, I believe, if he's here, Mr. Suarez. I want to say a public thank you for the work that you have done in ensuring that we can have proper traffic and proper transportation into and out of these communities. Right? I want to thank you. Even though it was a government contract, very often people get government contracts and don't recognize that they need to finish the work and finish it on time. Especially when you have in between the performance of a contract a change in administration, some people started dancing around and dilly-dallying. But I am happy that you consider yourself and you consider the company as part of this community. And therefore, the work which you did, even though it was a contract, that you felt a personal commitment to ensure that the work was done and it was done properly. So again, thank you very much. I want to also remind all of us here that we have 2 election petitions before the court. And those elections petitions arose out of a recount of the votes which were cast on the 2nd of March 2020. And so that our petitions are based on evidence which we discovered at the recount. This is not about any fictitious business. This is about people who were there, who were actually seeing as these boxes were opened, what came out of them. They saw zombies jumping out of some of these boxes. And the young people who were there, who sat at that recount for 33 days, I am personally proud of them. And I believe all of Guyana must be proud of them because they stood there and they sat there like eagles. In fact, we call the operation Operation Eagle Eye because they were looking at every single thing with the eyes of an eagle. And then our petitions came out of that recount. So I just want you to have faith that better days are ahead. That the good life which we campaigned on and which we promised you, the good life is still here. We have a short period of an interlude of mismanagement, of bad governance, of corruption, but that is not going to last for a long time. It's not going to last for a long time. We will be back, and we'll be back there very soon. I want to also remind all of these communities that elections for community councils, the 2 show elections, are also due during 2021. And already I understand that several kinds of all sorts of claims are being made. People are they're trying to buy out our people. They're trying to do all kinds of things. I urge you to stand firm and to stand strong. All of these councils across this country, it will be our responsibility to ensure that we win them and we win them handsomely.
That's right.
And I know that we can do it. I feel so energized today and this afternoon looking at the executive of 𝐿𝐾𝐏 and the youth and the experience that are blended in that organization, that I feel very proud. And I know that with the other parties in our coalition, the other parties in the APNU, our AFC partners, that together, we will win this region. We will win this region. And we can have another 𝐿𝐾𝐏𝐬. We have another 𝐿𝐾𝐏𝐬, not that one there, as the regional chairman. Right? Because you can see the young people that are coming up here. Beautiful, experienced, intelligent, and you listen to them. And you know that they will represent you well. As I said before, I am very proud of these young women that came up here this afternoon to speak about what they're doing. And they're holding the council's feet to the fire. That is what you voted for. That is the kind of representation that you voted for. And that is the representation which we will continue to give to you. Again, I want to say a very heartfelt thank you. And this is on behalf of the entire coalition, the APNU and the AFC. the leadership of the Partnership for National Unity, the leadership of the Alliance for Change, I want to say on their behalf a hearty thank you. And we are proud of the work which you have done. Finally, I want to say that COVID-19, the pandemic, is a reality. But coming into Sarama today and speaking to the senior counsel, I know sometimes when we speak about senior counsel in law, you're talking about an experienced lawyer of at least 10 years or more and so on. So when I'm speaking about senior counsel, the Tushao, former Tushao, and the experienced 𝐿𝐀𝐏𝐿𝐬 𝐿𝐀𝐏𝐬, that she represents what is and what will always be strong women in these communities. She, just like the world boss and like the champion of the earth, VP 𝐿𝐀𝐏𝐿𝐬, they have traveled the world and they have represented your communities all around the world. They have placed these communities on the map. And so people will never forget when they hear about Guyana, they will hear about Sarama, they will hear about the North Rupununi Development Authority, they will hear about South Rupununi, they will hear about Region 9. But GAP, you are not only Region 9, just let me say that to you. You're the Guyana Action Party. And everywhere the action is required, you will have to be. So it's not a Region 9 party. You got to be in 1, 7, 8, 10, 4, 5, 6. All about. Because this is how we will capture, we will recapture those votes which were creamed off. Some of them were creamed off by a party that was just formed, and it looked like they don't fold up by the time the elections finish, the LJP. So I've asked Sydney 𝐿𝐀𝐏𝐿𝐬, I have asked Vincent Henry, and I've asked all the other GAP people to make sure that these false prophets don't come into your communities and give them false promises, and the next day they turn their back, and next thing they become like agents of the People's Progressive Party. Don't waste your votes. Don't do that. Stand firm with what you know and what you believe in.